0.1% PAHs or higher as hazardous wastes. Other municipalities and jurisdictions in the U.S., including Washington, D.C., have used this as their high PAH sealant limit, adding that to existing coal tar sealant bans. And lastly, we did present to the Environmental Advisory Committee last week, and they gave us support and approved moving forward with this limitation. So if approved, our enforcement strategy would look something like this. Now, we implement y'all's surface water pollution control ordinance, the county does. And so we would recommend that upon approval that we would wait 6 months before enforcing the high PAH sealant ban. We would continue to enforce the existing coal tar sealant ban. But we feel like this 6-month window is a very critical time for us to do the following actions. First off, there is currently, nationwide, there is a preliminary list of seal coat products that would meet this limitation. It is not a comprehensive list. Washington, D.C. has received a grant, and they are currently working on developing a more comprehensive list that would have many more products specified that would meet this limitation. But we would also like to do our due diligence and work with local suppliers and manufacturers to develop a very comprehensive list that would be available for those that are in the industry, and the citizens of the town of Matthews would have access to this approved list. Secondly, we would need to implement an educational outreach campaign similarly to what we did for the coal tar sealant ban, where we would reach out to manufacturers of seal coat products, contractors that apply seal coat products, as well as property managers who hire seal coat contractors, property owners and residents within the town of Matthews through various outreach methods. Additionally, we would need to update our current enforcement protocols to include the high PAH sealant requirements. And then after those protocols have been updated, we would then need to train our staff who would be enforcing this ordinance on these protocols. And so that is what I have. So I'll open it up for any questions you may have.
Okay, Mr. Higdon?
Would it be possible to mandate asphalt-only based sealants? Because they don't contain the pH, correct?
So there are products that are coming out that are good products that have low concentrations of PAHs. So I think you would maybe limit the industry in coming up with more, I'm going to use the term green, but green solutions. So I think that would be, a lot of jurisdictions are not going that direction because they do want to allow freedom in the industry to come up with alternative products that meet these environmental standards that we're looking for.
And you absolutely think you need 6 months to make the change? Because I believe I made a motion when we did the initial ban to go from 6 months to 3 months.
You did.
You need a full 6 months to make the conversion? If it's bad for us, I mean, I don't want to use it at all,
I mean, that would be the maximum time that we would need. We may be able to implement those actions sooner than later. We are really, one area that we really want to make sure we do our due diligence on is making sure we have that list that is available for folks. So if you are hiring a contractor, you can go, on our website and be able to see, okay, these products are available and will meet the standard. That would be our one concern, is if we move too quickly on moving forward with enforcement, that we would not have that available to the community.
Thank you.
Mr. Higdon, would you like to make that motion?
What, 3 months?
If you so desire.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we modify Chapter 52A Surface Water Pollution Control Ordinance, 52A05 Prohibition, subsection E, coal tar sealant limitations to include high pH sealants as indicated in the attached revised ordinance, and implement within 3 months.
Second.
Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Higdon, seconded by Commissioner Miller. Mr. O'Neill, do you have any input to that motion? Okay. Okay. All right. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much for being out here this evening.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is the consider LED lighting for Levine Senior Center. Turn to the manager for
Yeah.
this.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. We have transitioned the lights in the town buildings to LED, and the Levine Center would also like to be a part of this program. They are in a little bit of a different situation, and they're, as part of our lease, they are responsible for repairs up to $10,000. The estimated cost from Lime is $8,500. So someone could make the argument that this falls under their their agreement with us. In talking to Dawn Jenkins, she says that they are willing to pay for it, but they are a little concerned about their out-of-pocket contribution. She does worry about their budget. So one of the options we have, we think this is the right thing to do. One of the options we have is we've made a financial contribution to the Levine Senior Center of $5,000 ever since it's been open. So that may be 10 years. And we have budgeted $5,000 this year. We have not given that to them. So the recommendation would be to enter into the contract with Lime. We would pay the Lime contract, and then we would withhold our contribution to them this year. Next year, presumably, in fiscal year 21, there'd be another $5,000 budget item. We'd withhold that one, part of it or all of it, until they've repaid us the amount of money for this program.
Mr. Higdon.
A question and a comment. Have we received more than one bid?
Yes, sir. CJ, we bid out all this. We've received 3 bids, and Lime was the lowest bidder.
Well, the comment I want to make is this is a no-brainer because the return on investment is incredibly quick, so I think we should go forward with it.
Mr. Melton.
I was going to make a motion that we recommend hiring Lime Energy Services to perform the LED fixture installation and withhold contribution funds until Levine Senior Center is reimbursed for the contracted amount. Budget amendment, to include the budget amendment that will be on our agenda dated 10/28/19 as listed in Hazen's memo to us dated October 9th, 2019.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Melton, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Higdon. Mr. Miller, do you have a comment?
I just have a question for Hazen. On the Lime, we'll get about $8,500 anticipated, and through this financing, creative financing, the Levine Center will reimburse us the same amount over time. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm fine with that.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All right, we have a motion. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, next item on the agenda is the mayor's report. Just a reminder, a couple things I've seen come up the last few days. November the 4th is the Historic Foundation dinner at Sante. Should have gotten the invitation for that. And then also the weekend of December 7th, the Women's Club will be having their annual Christmas tea at the Reed House. So just a reminder on both of those tickets get sold very quickly. So if you want to go to those, you need to advise those two entities. Mr. Attorney.
No report, Mayor.
Mr. Manager.
Mr. Mayor, I do have 3 things. First thing, I'd like to ask the chief to give you guys a briefing on the pedestrian fatality we had.
Mr. Mayor, Board, just a brief, update in reference to the email I sent you guys this afternoon. This morning at about 10:10 a.m., we received a call for a pedestrian struck in the parking lot of Aldi's on John Street. Officers arrived, located a female who had been struck by a vehicle. She was later transported to CMC Maine in Charlotte, where she died of her injuries. The investigation is continuing at this point. It was labeled as a hit and run. The driver had initially left the scene. We have since identified the driver, and the investigation continues.
We've had, or at least I had one email that claimed that the pedestrian fatality was on the road, not realizing it was on a private property parking lot. And so I guess we'll have to work on making sure people understand it was not on a public road, but it was a private property situation. No less tragic, but so. Okay, so the second thing I want to mention is we've had a request to close a portion of East Charles Street between North Trade Street there and Cotton Gin Alley. So that's right by the Weaver, Bennett and Bland building. You guys did delegate the authority to the manager to close off, to allow for, to approve the closure of streets. I was concerned about this one just because we have so little cross connection around town. However, this group, which is Weaver, Bennett and Bland, Buffalo Jackson, and Rob Jasek with the Beer Temple, has gone around to all the property owners, including Renfro's and the farmers market, to make sure, like, explain what they want to do. Everybody is comfortable with it. We think it's going to be a safe event. We're also going to get Stacy and Terrell involved and work with these folks to make sure they make it as safe as possible. This event would be Saturday, November 2nd, from 10 to, the actual event would be from 10 to 2, but they want to close the road, the portion of the road, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. There would be beer within the enclosed area. I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention so nobody was surprised. We do think it's going to be safe. That was my big concern. It's a drive-in for these FJ cruisers. If you may not know what.
Toyota.
Yeah, Toyota FJ. They're very distinctive looking. If you don't know what they are, they're very distinctive looking. So any concerns? Anybody got any questions? Okay, the last thing has to deal with the Babs Dwally event. So the Babs group did talk to the Cultural Diversity Committee. Myself, as the town representative on that group, came to you guys to explain that CDC is interested in partnering with BAPS. I did this under the manager's report. You guys didn't seem to have any problems with that. We have the CDC subsequently formed a subcommittee. It's working with the BAPS group and also Parks and Recreation. And right now, the event is planned for Town Hall to celebrate New Year's Eve, Diwali, or New Year's, Hindu New Year's at the Town Hall. It would be Wednesday, October 23rd. The ceremony would start at 6 with about 30 minutes of social in the lobby, and then there'd be 30-minute presentation and ceremony here in the hood room. So it'll last from 6 to 7 on Wednesday, October 23rd. I want to bring you guys up to date and see if you guys had any questions.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Bash?